Thank you so much. Um, Hello and welcome to another edition of Interview with Irene. Today I have the beautiful Bibiana Krall with me who will talk a little bit about her writing. So welcome so much to this episode.
Thank you for having me, Irene. I'm really excited to talk to you today.
Oh, and I'm so glad I hear you nice and clear now.
I know it's great.
All right. Well, how about we start by you telling us a little bit about your background?
About what? I'm sorry.
About your background?
Well, my background, my business, or my personal background.
Um, both.
Okay. Well, I think as far as my childhood, I was born and raised in the Midwest, and I have seven siblings, brothers and sisters.
Oh,
Um, we had a sustainable organic farm, and I think my love for nature kind of came from growing up in a really beautiful area that had a lot of protected land. So we were allowed, back then, a million years ago when the dinosaurs roamed, we were allowed to be in the woods alone for hours at a time with, no cell phones and nobody knowing where we were. And it was really kind of an amazing childhood. And I had no idea how amazing it was until I went out in the world and realized a lot of people don't have childhoods like that.
right.
So, but it was a lot of work, a lot of work. We had an enormous garden. And since it was organic, obviously there were bugs. And I was absolutely petrified of caterpillars.
Hmm?
So I'm not afraid of them now, but when I was a kid, they would definitely get a good scream out of me. But as far as an adult, because of the fact that eventually, as a young person, I didn't feel intellectually stimulated by the small town country life, and really yearned to meet people of culture around the world, to meet people who didn't look like me and didn't think like me. And so I was really interested in traveling the world and ended up working in the luxury travel business for a very long time. And then I was in private aviation for a while as well. So, which are obviously, areas where you're going to travel and you're going to meet people from all over the world. So I've kind of, I've really had both sides of life in the time I've been on this planet, and I hope to do more. We'll see. We'll see. So, but that's the short and long of it.
That's wonderful. And how did you get into writing?
Well, with the writing for me, I've been thinking about it since I was 4 years old. I decided I was going to be a ballerina, and I almost was a professional ballerina. This was a million years ago, but I was some really terrible life changes happened, and it didn't work out. So my second choice was novelist, which is where I'm at now. And I've decided when I'm 75 years old, I'm going to go to law school and I'm going to try to help save what's left of the environment. So that's my life sequence. And
Very
I
humble.
made that decision when I was 4,
Oh,
basically.
wow.
Yeah, I was a really weird kid.
Yeah, I think I can relate. I think a lot of people can relate. Yeah, yeah. So what is it particularly about the supernatural to draws you to write about it?
Well, the house that I grew up in had really strange occurrences that went on that really couldn't be explained by logic, couldn't be explained by religion, or even common sense, including my own when I was experiencing them. So, because I was raised in a very strict Roman Catholic household and wasn't allowed to really discuss these sort of things, it became almost a quest of mine to understand it on my own. And my siblings just now are starting to come to me with stories that match experiences that I had. So it's kind of bizarre, truthfully, that, you know, 25 years, 30 years later, the things that I experienced that are still cemented in my mind are stories my siblings are coming to me and I never told them.
Mm,
So we're connecting our experiences at this point. But for me, it's always been an exploration to just try to figure out what this means, why so many people are, have in their mind that they can't talk about it. Because almost every person that I've ever met in my entire life, if they're being honest with me, or we've had a little too much wine and we're on vacation somewhere, they always share a story. So to me, this is part of a reality, but it's always been this sort of hidden sphere. And by writing about it, not only am I sort of putting a feeler out for other people to let them know they're not the only ones, but also to just sort of explore what this means to us, to me. Was I completely hallucinating my entire childhood? I mean, what does this mean? And how does it fit into, a logical society or a creative society? I mean, what are we supposed to know and not know? And why do I know some of this? And why do you know some of this? So to me, it's just an exploration of life,
right.
really, and mystery. It's a mystery.
This I agree for everyone. Um, who are some of your favorite characters in your books?
Well, there's a couple, really. I mean, I love Ayana. She's a Jamaican high priestess from the 1800s, and she's very magical, super connected to nature, um, and very forgiving, even of people who have done horrible things to her.
Mm,
She's just got this beautiful soul. Um, and I would say Gracie in Carolina's Spirit is probably my other favorite character. She loses her father, and she's being contacted by some sort of paranormal presence that's pushing her to see things and pushing her to notice things. And it's not really scary, it's more just sort of disturbing and eerie.
mm,
And because she doesn't believe that her father died of a careless accident, like people are saying. She believes something happened to him, and these sort of ghostly presences that she meets out on an old abandoned plantation are guiding her. So, and she doesn't understand any of it. She's 12 or 13 years old. And I mean, I can't imagine laying in bed and having, some bright blue orb fly over the top of my head. And I just lost my father. I would think I was losing my mind, right? So,
okay.
but yeah, Gracie she's just wonderful. She's a beautiful, beautiful soul. And her best friend Gus is just as amazing as she is. So it's a story where people honestly are like the best of humanity. So instead of reading a book where everybody's sort of messed up and everybody's terrible, this particular story has people who are, even with terrible circumstances, are just beautiful, beautiful souls.
Um, that really sounds incredible and a good read for everyone to have. I know I myself try to be more forgiving too, so it's an incredible message. Wonderful. Um, any other hobbies?
I like to restore old furniture. Um, I used to go to this antique auction in Pembroke, Georgia,
Oh,
every
wow.
Thursday. It's It's really old fashioned. Farmers drive up in their tractors. I'm not kidding.
Oh,
And my house was basically completely furnished from this auction.
yeah.
But if you don't basically take the stuff home with you, within 2 days, they put it back in inventory. So literally, I would have to find someone who had a pickup truck willing to sit through the auction full of farmers, literally in their overalls. And, but my house is full of furniture now, thank goodness. But but restoring furniture kind of turned into a thing for me. There's something really beautiful about in a really old, well-made, piece of wood that's been formed into something useful, and it's covered with old paint or whatever, and taking those layers off and making it beautiful again is in a lot of ways kind of like writing and editing a novel, honestly.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and when you don't have a lot of money too, you get pretty handy at doing things like that. But that's one of the things that I like to do. But I'm a gourmet cook. I make my own spice mixes, um, and uh, I just do so many things. I have tons and tons of things I like to do, so it's hard to really pin down one particular thing. But I'm always filming, I'm always thinking, I'm always reading. um I would really like to start a fruit orchard behind my house, but I just haven't figured out exactly where to put it.
Yeah.
um because I want to start baking pies and making jams, and I want to do all that sort of pioneer stuff. I have no idea why I want to do it, but I want to do it. So,
That's awesome. You also mentioned in your Twitter bio about traveling.
oh
What
yeah.
is some of your favorite destinations?
Well, I love Bermuda. Um, I was kind of surprised at how much I love Bermuda, but I love the pirate lore. I love the huge black cliffs made out of coral and lava, because
Mm.
it's got a history of both. Um, and the little pink sort of animals that live on the reef. That's why the beach is pink. I don't know. It's just an amazing place. And I love the British influence on top of it, because it makes it sort of strange. It's like tropical and amazing and wild. And then you see a policeman standing in the middle of the street wearing pink Bermuda shorts directing traffic. It's like, um, it's so strange because it's a combination of conservative and wild at the same time, if that makes any
Right.
sense. So
No,
it's like jalapenos on pizza, you know what I mean? It's just like really, you're not exactly sure why you like it, but you really like it.
that's, that's a good analogy.
Thank you.
I want to go there now.
Oh, Bermuda's, it's, if you go, you have to, you have to talk to me, because I've got a million places that you have to go
Oh,
see, and they're all super secret.
I will let you know. Well, thank you so much for your time and for being on this episode. Was really an interesting journey into your life and
Thank you.
what you like to do and how it influences your writing. And hopefully we'll have you again sometime in the future. If
Thanks
you,
so much, Irene.
yeah. All right. Thank you. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Interview with Irene. Bye.